Welcome.
You always do that.
Well, if I do it.
No, you always make it to where we can't see the comments.
Oh, my bad. Maybe it's a millennial thing. I don't know.
You mean it's the mom thing?
Oh.
I'm a millennial.
Whatever. Jeez. Well, welcome to Millennial and Mom for our live review and discussion of Married at First Sight Season 12, Episode 16. Oh boy, what do we think about Episode 16?
What did you think about it?
I thought it was just something that they could have did weeks ago, but I understand they have to go through the motions and stuff like that and put it out. So I don't know.
Do you really understand? Because I don't think you do. I think you are lying.
Oh goodness. Do you want to put the thing up to? Oh, we'll do that in a minute. Yeah. Okay. Well,
Say how you really feel about this.
I will, but we're going to start off with a live review, and then we'll welcome you all to join us for conversation. Hi, Kayla. How are you? So let's start off with Virginia and Eric.
You are going to start off? I want to know how you really feel about this episode.
It's not just this episode, it's just this season in general. I feel the same. My thoughts haven't changed.
I want to know that.
No, let's just get into the review. My thoughts haven't changed. This episode to me was a little bit better, but we didn't learn anything about anyone except for maybe Virginia, who's been speaking her mind the most. But I think we pretty much have seen how the couples have operated as the time has gone on. So go ahead and start off with Eric and Virginia.
Well, how do you feel about Eric and Virginia since you think Virginia has showed you something?
I thought it was boring too, Kayla. Virginia has showed me the fact that she's speaking up more. Because remember last week, Eric was like, oh, well, I don't like how you outed me on camera. But this time, she said how she felt in the restaurant, which was on camera, and at home, but she's still telling him her feelings about it. And I just thought their episode was, well, not their episode, their scenes were the most interesting because Eric started pouring his heart out. He was the one that was saying like, oh, well, I really love you and stuff like that.
But did you really believe Eric?
I think Eric really wants it to work. He doesn't want to come across as a failure. But hi, Rosemary. But I don't know. But when they were talking to their friends earlier, I think that Virginia's friends have been pretty consistent. If you know, she speaks with mostly male friends. Then she did add one of her female friends. Well, that is a problem. Oh, you fell asleep, Rosemary?
I did too. It was, these last couple episodes have been so hard to take notes for because I'm just like, nothing's happening. The same thing is happening over and over again. Because here's the rundown of what's going to happen. Eric and Virginia are going to argue about something, whether it be Rocky, whether them talking about how they don't see eye to eye on things, something about that in that nature. Brianna and Vincent gonna get mad at Brianna for something that she said. Jacob and Haley, I mean, nothing ever happens with them. Right. Jacob's not here for Haley. Haley be trying to make it seem like she's there for Jacob, but we all know that she's not. And then Ryan and Clara, Ryan is still on the same level of, for sure, yeah, he's just going through the motions. And Claire is still looking for the L word from him and think everything's a 10 out of 10 relationship. Right. Oh, that's the episode.
Yeah, with them pretty much. Good night, everybody. No, I'm just joking. But I honestly, I didn't think Virginia would have this much oomph towards the end of the show because I think that she always wanted to roll with whatever Eric said. But now she's giving food for thought, like, I may not be here for you next week, or decision day. I have things to think about. And I think she should. And I think that, hi, Tamar, I think that she really should take time out to get her life back on track of where she wants to go.
Yeah, it does seem like she misses a single life. And has she ever moved past a single life? No. Or is she just married to be on the show and she's still going to do whatever she want to do, whether it's with her male friends or her female friends, she's going out with somebody, whether he wants to come along or not.
Right. Excuse my dress. It's a shoulder dress, but whatever. Yeah. So let's move on to let's do Ryan and Clara.
Ryan and Clara. See, what bothered me about Clara this episode, where she had the opportunity to speak to her friend about what's really going on to help her really make the decisions. She's still trying to convince us, or I don't know who she's trying to convince
Herself.
that it's a 10 out of 10. When, the producers did that flashback of everything that she's been saying, about Ryan breaking his circle of trust, and all that stuff. And on top of that, she's still looking for Ryan to say the L word towards her. But then she was like, well, I just want to be loved. I want someone to love on me. And I'm like, if he says that he loves you, that doesn't mean he's going to love on you. Like, those are two different things. So she's definitely sending mixed messages on what she wants. And I don't really think she 100% knows what she wants. She just wants a feeling that Ryan clearly isn't giving her.
She wants the feeling of being married, also, too, to be in a relationship. Because, they've all said, the ladies especially, how they wanted to be married. That's one thing they're consistent about.
I mean, I think everybody on the show wanted to be married. Even Chris.
Well, they're not part of the show, so.
But I'm just saying, in general, the whole show, everybody who wanted to be on the show wanted to be married.
Yeah. And you know what? Also, too, I thought it was interesting when they came back after meeting with their friend, whether it be on the phone or playing shuffleball, whatever, with Ryan and stuff like that, that when they did the, what was it? The
shuffleboard?
No. When she did the personality test.
Oh, I skipped past that.
When she did the personality test and talked about things like, oh, are you ambitious? She's like, not really. And just her different answers to the question, Ryan was looking like, what? Like, he was looking like, I can't believe you're saying that. But Clara flies by literally, as if she's a flight attendant, by the seat of her pants.
Like, I mean, he already knew that, saying that, oh, yeah, I see that she's a goal setter. She wants to do this. She wants to do that. All shit she does was go to work to pay her bills, and that's about it. Well, she didn't say she was achieving, to go back to school or to work out on a consistent basis. I mean, he just got her on a 10:30 at night regimen.
And she didn't think she would. But hey, she would.
That's not who she is. And that's okay. Some people don't have that ambition and drive. And that's just what she is in life right now. I mean, can you really judge her? Well, I know people can.
Yeah. And Tamar says she thinks they're getting the Karen and Miles edit.
Brian and Clara? I mean, that doesn't really work in my perspective and beliefs, because I didn't really care for Karen and Miles anyways. But I don't know if they're getting the same treatment, because I think Ryan is that way all the time.
I have said from the beginning that, especially during the honeymoon, that they were the ones that talked about life situations. So I think they have connected on conversation for sure. Where they have not connected with, which to me is not an edit based off Clara and her frustrations, is the sexual chemistry, the romance. So I don't think they're getting the Karen Miles edit, but I do think they're both going to say yes on decision day. I honestly do.
Wow.
So, okay, let's move on to the next couple. Let's just go ahead and throw in Haley and Jacob. Why not?
I mean, I don't have anything to say about Haley and Jacob, because they literally do the same thing every episode. But Haley's your girl. Don't look at me like that.
Why you say that?
You talk about her every live that we've been on.
That's because Haley is trying, like Clara, but in a different way. She's trying to say that she doesn't know what's going on. She don't know what's wrong, and things are going good as far as she's concerned. There's no way you can think things are going well just because you had maybe a good night of conversation. Things aren't going well.
Yeah.
But I will say that Jacob on this episode, he could have sent her a text, even though they drove in separate cars, that he was leaving early, or let someone know he was leaving early, because no one knew he was leaving.
You know what my favorite part was in the whole episode? When Haley was sitting down with her friend, and she was like, well, what if he called you and apologized about everything? Which he already apologized for the mistakes he did. Just throw that out there. But for everything that he's done, would you take him back? And she had the nerve to contemplate it, knowing that she lied.
Now that is an edit.
I thought that was so funny. I'm like, girl, we know you lying. You know when this decision day comes in 2 more weeks, you're gonna say no. And if she doesn't say no, I'm gonna fall on the floor.
Yeah. Again, I just think they're going through the motions, especially Jacob's going through the motions, and Haley's trying to again save face. So they didn't really give anything. So as far as I'm going to say, they've always been boring, and we can move to the next level.
All right, who is the next couple?
Brianna and Vincent.
Brianna and Vincent.
Mm-hmm.
I posted this
on Joseph.
My Twitter last night when I was watching the show. I'm about to tell you what I said.
Okay.
2 things about Vincent. One, I really enjoy Vincent's friends because they always like try to make him see something that he doesn't see. And then he goes, oh yeah, well maybe, or gives him something to think about. But then like every time I want to like Vincent, he always does something and I'm just like, I can't like him. I want to, but I can't.
But the show started off with like, oh, I think you're what?
She called him unorganized.
And I was like, here we go. We're going to set the tone for the whole show, Brianna. Like, how in the world?
Like, she knows what to do to press his buttons.
Hey, Devontae. You know what? I think she knows what to do, but at the same time, you shouldn't always have to edit what it is that you say to someone you're in a relationship with. So far, it's been 7.5 weeks, and she has a certain personality, so does she. But when she said it, she looked like pulled back a little bit, in my opinion, about it. And then he went on, as far as I'm concerned, it was a tit for tat kind of thing, to be honest. It's like, oh, well, I didn't want anyone assertive or anybody bossy. So that made me, what did he say? Not uncomfortable, turned off. And I was like, so how do you, now, if I was going to say yes. Right, this is the real me, y'all. Now, if I was going to say yes, that would really make me think twice about that. Because if you're turned off by my personality hasn't changed since the day you met me. Right. What makes you think it's going to change? It may like alter a little bit, but it's not going to change that drastically. And I thought that was rude.
I mean, but Vincent, you already know how Vincent is and how he does. You can't say nothing to him, but he can say anything you want in his perspective. And there was that scene at the end of the show, right, where it did seem like they were having a good night. Were they at a bar, restaurant, somewhere else?
Yeah.
But then he's gonna say, "Yeah, I got a surprise," and Brianna's all, happy, like, "Oh, what's a surprise?" He cuts her hair in bed. That's not a surprise. Like, what is that? I mean, yeah, she said she wanted to take it out, but it didn't seem like she was ready to take it out right now. She's about to go to sleep.
Well, we're about to go to sleep. You guys have hair in the bed. So we have hair in the bed.
That wasn't even
your funny. Hair or not. That was.
And it was the wrong scissors. On top of that, but did you catch when Vincent was about to leave?
And he said, "Steve, when I see you?"
No, he said, "Nice knowing you."
Whatever.
Could you imagine if Brianna said that to Vincent? It would have been a divorce right then and there.
That's what I'm saying. But you said I'm a turn off, so that would make me think twice about you, because like we just said, that's part of my personality. See, when I see you, just gonna cut random hair and then what? No, Vincent, no. No.
That's not how it works.
Anime. No.
Like, I be trying to like Vincent every episode. I really do. But then he does something and I can't. Every single time.
But you know what though? I will give Vincent props. Not to bring him down on everything that he said.
We're not bringing him down.
No, but he did say that he has acknowledged that he gets uncomfortable in certain situations. But these situations are around women. And here's my thing though.
But what has he done
to
change that?
But he hasn't. He's not going to, because I think his machismo is.
I don't care that he admits it, because he's not going to change.
But here's the thing. If you want someone who, has her own stuff and it can help you out and do that, you're supposed to uplift each other. I mean, she's supposed to be, she's an engineer, so she's already in a career where she has to be at a certain level, one, because she's a woman anyways. But then she's got to play a down role for you because you're not comfortable with anything. Is a problem.
He's not comfortable with anything that he don't like, that he don't want to do, that he doesn't put forward. And I mean, I guess he can find someone who would work with that in a relationship.
I guess
it's not going to be Brianna for too much longer because she can do a little bit, as we've seen so far. Her doing the baby voices, trying to walk on eggshells a little bit. But I don't see her doing it much longer.
But did you see the conversation with her mom?
Can't see that. That would have been a different conversation. That was me.
I know, but
that would have been a whole different conversation. I would have been like, he said what? And you're still staying? Listen,
not. Oh, you are a little bit bossy, but you just want people to fall in line.
No. I'd be like, I'm gonna expect you to be home at the 8-week cutoff. That's what I'm gonna expect from that because you should have to
alter who you are for someone else who gets uncomfortable with anything that he don't like.
He's not willing to compromise on anything that doesn't suit his fancy, that doesn't make him look good, and that's not right.
Advocate, people think that Brianna doesn't compromise either.
Well, no one will
always hear a pin drop with that.
Right. One. No one will always agree with you, no matter what you pro or con. However, like I mentioned, it's a woman when you have a certain job, if you a career, and you are maybe at the top of your career, whatever, and sometimes some men find that
intimidating.
I think Vinny finds her intimidating. I honestly do.
And if the experts knew that he didn't want no one direct or assertive, why would he set them up together knowing that she's bossy?
Well, the same reason they set up people with cats who don't like cats.
The same people who set up people who don't want to name. The same thing. And one more thing before we bring you all on is the Haley thing. When her friend talked about, they didn't have the right friend talking to her. They needed the friend from the wedding, the bridesmaid, that one bridesmaid.
Yeah.
Talk about the red flags.
Oh yeah, that he's 38, about to be 39. Like he already has an insecurity about his age, anyways.
So I think so.
So because he says it. He said it.
Right.
It was his caption. At the beginning of the episode. So her throwing that jab and saying, "Oh, he hasn't dated or anything in 10 years." Like, isn't that kind of weird?
Yeah, but you haven't dated.
Kind of weird, Haley, that you're still stuck on your ex from 7 years ago. I think that's weird.
You know what the difference is with Haley, in my opinion, on that? She knows she's stuck on her ex, but she's not 38. She's still 28. So she's got time. She's like, oh, well, he should be married. First of all, some people don't ever get married, and some people truly want to find the one first, instead of just having to jump into things. So anyways, that, you guys, is pretty much our live review on that episode. So we're going to put the link up if you want to join.
Go ahead and copy the link.
I don't even know where you copied it from. Just going to be honest.
Me.
Did I?
You did.
I mean, dependent. It's one of those, just like that.
Yeah. I'll do the rest.
Live behind the scenes TV. She's so mean to me sometimes. She'd be mean to me off camera filming, y'all. But anyway,
I just like things a particular way.
I do too, but sometimes things just don't be that serious. But anyways, so if y'all want to join, if not, let's see. At this point, it's time for the show. You should expect tomfoolery. It is such a good concept if done right. I agree, Tamar. Okay, Kimberly. You say Haley's going to be Jacob in 10 years. She shouldn't throw stones. I think she's Jacob now. I do.
I think she's worse than Jacob.
She did,
because Haley don't have a personality.
She did throw a dig at the end. She was like, "Oh, well, maybe I need counseling." Yeah, you do.
That's pure facts.
I think the whole cast. Well, Brianna went to counseling already, but the whole cast. Virginia needs counseling. That's old news, right? Clara needs counseling. Like, why you got to get people off every night? You're not getting nothing for it. All right. Hold on, Devontae. Let me read this comment. Let's see. Vinny's a baby man. He's not right for her. She's going to go to a different group of males that can handle a confident situation. Yeah, I think so, too. Here we go. Hello, sir.
How y'all doing?
Good. And we have Miss Kayla coming on too. Look, glad you. Well, I put you back, girl. How you guys doing?
Good. How you doing?
Hey, how are you?
Fine, thank you. Anybody could go first. It's up to you.
You go ahead, Kayla.
Well, my whole thing, let me think who to start with first. I think Vinny just reminds me of a walking time bomb. I just feel like every little thing he's uncomfortable with. If he tries something new, he don't want to do that. It's like everything has to be on his terms. And it's like being with a child. I think she's going to get tired of it because she needs somebody to take charge when she comes home because of the type of career she has. And for her now to come home and walk on eggshells around him, it's too much. I think she's going to be exhausted.
Yeah, I think she's exhausted now, honestly. Because she has to sidestep everything she says. Because I caught every time she says something, I always look at her face. You know, because she's like, she says it and then she's like, kind of like pulls back a little bit because she knows how he's going to respond. Well, she doesn't know, but she could kind of feel how he's going to respond because he seems on camera, seems to respond negatively.
There's nothing worse than feeling someone's negative energy.
Well,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. And you just feel like, and then she's going to have to dumb herself down all the time.
Yeah, that's not going to work. She worked too hard, like we learned last episode, how she felt she was an ugly duckling and came up through the ranks and went to school and did all this. That's not going to work, her dumbing herself down for
Vincent and car salesman. You know, nothing wrong with car salesman, but
not just that. Just his personality, just the things. He comes across like he's ambitious, but that's what he says, but I'm not getting the ambition.
No.
I'm not getting it at all. What do you think, Devontae?
First of all, he was just saying all the wrong things.
He was.
Me? Echo?
Oh, I don't hear echo.
I don't hear echo.
Right. Well, he was saying all the wrong things the whole episode. He just kept saying dumb stuff. It was like, why would you tell her? You already told her that you don't like her being bossy. Why you gonna keep bringing that up to her? It's like some things you just gotta accept. Her family told you she bossy. She not about to change. She been bossy for, I don't know how old she is, 27, 25.
28.
28 years. She not changing that. Especially she in a boss career field. It's over. There's nothing you can do. And when he cut her braid, I was like, ooh. I thought the bag on the table was the gift. It was a bag next to the bed. I was like, oh, that's what did he get her, a necklace or something? And then he cut her hair. I was like, have you not been with a black woman before? You let them take the lead on taking their hair down, and you follow up. You don't start cutting.
I couldn't believe he did that because and he did it on camera. Yeah. You know, if the script was flipped, he would have had all kinds of problems. Like,
right. She would have just understand. His beard. He would have been like,
not the beard. Exactly. But then again, like who? First of all, if she wasn't ready to cut, you're getting ready for bed. Does it seem like she want to cut her hair? And then who cuts hair in the bed? Who does it?
And why would she do that on camera? Oh, I heard you said you wanted to take your hair down. You know darn well she wasn't going to do that in front of the camera.
And why was that a surprise? Why was that your surprise? Your surprise was helping me take down my hair. That's not a surprise, sir.
No, that's not a surprise.
On national TV. I don't think so.
I was like, you think Brianna was about to get up here? Nah.
No. Nah, nobody gonna do that. Nobody. But the point is though, he looked like did it look like he was disappointed or did it look like he was like, I messed up?
iPad.
I don't know. I don't know if he like, I couldn't understand that dumb look on his face. Like, did you really think that was okay?
Right.
Like, I didn't get it. Like he was looking like, oh, and she played it off good, but I would have went off. Like, no, you didn't just do that in front of the camera.
Well, I'm glad he cut a back braid and not none in the front. Thank God.
No, it's been back and forth. Some people said it was the front.
It was the back. It weren't the front.
Oh.
Well, it looked like the back.
It don't matter where it was. Even if it was her natural hair, why would you be like, oh, surprise? That is never a surprise. That's just not a surprise. It just isn't.
But I don't know. I think her mom ain't give her no good advice. Her mom gave her bad advice.
Not sound advice. I mean, Mom, what advice would you give this Brianna?
I told you, if it was you, I would have been like, listen to conversation. This is how I do with her and my son anyways. I listen to conversations, first of all, see if it makes sense. Right. And if it don't make sense, I'm like, so, what you gonna do about it? Then I hear what they're gonna do about it. I'm like, nope, that's not it. What you need to do is, after decision day, I'm gonna expect you to have your suitcase packed. Now, I can pick you up now from the back. You don't have to be worried about him, trying to cuss at you. Oh, I'm there. I'm riding. Right. I know my kids are grown, but I ride for my kids. But the point is, I will let Brianna know that, just like I said, you shouldn't have to sacrifice who you are because he is, may not be ready yet. I just don't think Vincent is ready yet. I think they all have the idea of wanting to be married, or most people come on this show, but it seems like the majority of the cast isn't ready. And I just think that I know this may not be popular, but I would encourage Brianna, if it was Cassandra, to maybe contemplate
a divorce.
Yeah, honestly. I
just don't think they have matched. Like, she trying to do all this adventurous stuff. He not adventurous. He don't like the way you talk. And then he get mad. He get mad like that, and you got a baby voice him that whole time. Like, you don't know.
Even Brianna knows that's not going to work long term. It's not feasible to work long term at all. How would that work? Mm-hmm. How? So if we're not going to the zoo, and we're not going to cigar bar, and we're not dancing bachata, and we're not whatever, and we're not dancing whatever, this and that, he's not going to be happy. Because he told you he don't want to do X, Y, and Z, and I don't like surprises, so don't surprise me.
Brianna knows she ain't trying to learn all that Spanish. You about to be going to all them reunions. You ain't gonna know what they saying.
Well, she should. We don't know what that means.
I think she likes him as a friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have some people that you like as a friend, and as you get to know them, but then she could go home. I think he would be, in this situation, a horrible husband. I think he needs to really kind of find himself and kind of ground himself into who he is to be confident. Because I really think he's insecure, and with the kind of money this girl is making, because she's making gobs of money, I think that it's going to be a problem because he's so insecure with who he is as a person.
Right. And I also think too that if, let's say, these couples were just like dating, I don't think they would last past the first or second date. I don't think any of them are really a match, but I do think that maybe two people will say yes on decision day just for the sake of saying yes on decision day. Honestly,
Clara and Ryan, because they lying to everybody themselves, their family. Clara was like, "Oh, we're 100%." I was like, "Ain't nothing 100%."
I couldn't believe she said that.
Like, I'm married and it's not 100% perfect,
right? But she said it again. But she's always said, "Oh, it's a 10 out of 10." When she met the expert, I don't know who she.
Oh yeah, 10 out of 10. I don't know why I said 100%.
Same thing. It's the same thing. But why would you
say it's 100% when you have vented to the ladies on the honeymoon, after the honeymoon, during get-togethers and everything else that I'm the one getting him off. So how's it 100%? How? But that personality test, that's what got me. That really got me because Clara, like I said, she didn't want to do nothing. Do you agree with being the best she could be? She's like, I don't know.
She has no ambitions whatsoever.
She can't agree with the best she gonna be. She
She is not ambitious.
No, she's not. But
only. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say the only thing she can guarantee is that she gonna keep getting men that just don't want to sleep with her. And that's something she got. I don't know. How you get 2 men in a row that don't want to have sex with you? Like,
I don't know.
Like something must be going on in the water.
Something's happening.
Maybe she's too clingy. You know, some men just don't like clingy women. And she could be too clingy. I mean, if a man is looking for a relationship, and I'm not talking about just any man, but if a real man is looking for a relationship and he realizes that, oh, wait a minute, she's just way too clingy, like back up for a second. And she coming on too strong and she ready to, jump in bed. She'll be like, okay, enough. He don't want to be bothered.
Mm-hmm.
But he was saying dumb stuff, talk about, sometimes I just want her to talk about sports. I'm like,
yeah,
sir,
when he said
what are you
that,
going with?
Right, I don't know what world Brian and Clara are on. It's just crazy to me how they just think just so abstractly, too abstract, too out the box.
They do.
Where's Ryan's brothers at? That's what I want to know. I'm like, where's these friends?
I think Ryan's the type of person you can't tell Ryan nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Like Ryan gonna do what Ryan wanna do. He gonna do it in his own time, in his own way. I agree, Dorothy. None of them should stay together. And Clara, just like Virginia needs rehab for her alcohol, Virginia needs therapy for her. Clara needs therapy for her self-esteem because she has none. Like, there's no way I would just continually do that and I got nothing in return for it. And but he got her trained well already. Like, he got her trained already. Like, he look at her like, don't you say nothing. We good. We happy. We happy. Don't for sure.
Right, sure.
For sure.
Yeah. Like I didn't know he was married. No, it's just like, and to be honest,
y'all get all the intel.
I'm telling you, listen, like how you know these people?
I guess Instagram, whatever. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
No, but to me, my thing is, there's no way he doesn't know that she wants him to do it back. There's no way. But like that goes into the whole thing of like black men, do they really do that compared to it goes to another conversation. I just don't like there's something about them I don't think they'll ever break up. I think he'll have to leave her before she leaves him. Because when she said, give me 6 months, and and if I ain't heard these 6 months, girl, if you was with somebody and y'all only had sex 2 or 3 times out of the 3 years y'all were together,
right?
You got the patience of Job, okay?
Exactly. But I agree with Kayla. I think, and I agree with you too, Kelsey. But I really believe that Clara is clinging. That makes perfect sense.
Stage 5.
Right.
She's really emotional, and Ryan is not with any type of emotion.
No,
and I wish
he doesn't have any emotions at all. Like he's a robot. He doesn't feel, which lets me know that the way that was actually the way he was raised, because or either there was somebody a long time ago. Hey, Cliff. There was somebody a long time ago that broke Ryan down like a fraction, and he never really got over it.
Not a fraction. Okay,
I think he's doing that. I think he's doing it to save face because he grew up in a church and he don't want to embarrass his family. Because anytime that they're talking about anything intimate as far as their relationship is concerned, you can see his face. He automatically shuts down.
He clams up like somebody finna get a prostate exam. Like,
yes.
He'd be like,
yes,
for sure. Yeah. We'll do that for sure.
Kelsey, don't make me mute your mic. No, I'm just playing. But you're right, though. But it's not just he clams up with the sexual part of it. He just clams up again with the feelings part. Anything she's got to say, just when they're just talking in general, like he just doesn't want to open up for anything. And I can see him saving face because his family's religious. But where is your personality? I pegged Brian boring from the pre-show.
He ain't no more religious than Chris. I ain't trying to hear that. I'm so tired of black people. I'm so tired of black people leaning on Christianity, trying to blame the good Lord. I'm so sick of that. He just ain't Ryan just another for sure. Instead of him being brutally honest like Chris, he for sure. He ain't no better than Chris. Who ain't trying to sleep with their wife? That don't make no sense.
And my thing is, if you doing that, you might as well do the whole thing. But to be honest, I think the reason he don't do the whole thing is because he don't want to be trapped with a baby. Because she give me the vibes of like poking the holes in the condom type. I feel like, because she a stage 5 clinger. So I feel like she the type to not take her birth control.
She already moved in the house, moved everything.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like just something about her says, like she might, just something about her. I don't know if it's the chin or the look she be giving or what, but like I ain't even being funny. I'm being so for real. Like just something about her personality. How she like then the letter that he wrote. It wasn't even a
He said, "Thank you for loving."
Yeah, it was
for loving me enough to let me be me.
She took the I from the first paragraph, a you from somebody, and then the second paragraph, then she took the love, and somehow she turned that into I love you. Like there's nothing about Ryan. I don't know what goes on when they off camera, but there is nothing from what I've seen on camera that a self-assured woman like a Brianna, or even a Haley to a certain degree, or would have put up with. Like
Lord.
He should have been matched with Paige.
Who?
He wouldn't have wanted a Paige.
Nah, Paige would have put that thing on. She wasn't about to be waved.
But you know what though? I honestly feel like he would have messed with Paige though, because it goes back to the whole conversation we can have about that. I think he would have, but I think Paige would have kept her mouth shut. That's one thing he don't like about her. She talks too much.
Yeah. That's true.
Now,
he don't need to get no woman then if he don't want nobody that's gonna talk, because it's not making no sense. He don't want her to talk.
We ain't finna have our man out here looking crazy. Like black people, we're real good at minding the business that pays us.
But that's what happens when you mess with fellow black people. You can't go mess with them and then be mad when they doing Karen things. This in their blood. In their blood, when they see a robber, let me go investigate. Our blood is
not investigate. I'm so weak.
Right. They investigate, we evacuate. That's the difference. I think,
and to be honest, like I just wouldn't trust Claire. Like I don't trust Ryan either. But like they both, like they both just need something.
I think he like black girls, but they don't like him. And
I think that's what it was. I think that the black girl that broke him down like a fraction. That's what I'm saying. Like there was a black girl that was as pretty as Cassandra that probably came in, was sashaying that hair, was smiling good, and then he opened his mouth and that was all she wrote. And she might have used him because he was smart to cheat off of in class, something like that. And then and then she left him for the football player, and that was it. And then ever since then, he been wanting Becky's.
It's possible. So you pop that back up for Jasmine's show because
I did. I popped that back up because if Claire showed any sense of goal, any sense of drive, do you think Ryan would then be turned on by her? Because I kind of think
I think so. I think so because Black people aren't afforded the luxury of not having goals and drive and ambition. We're not afforded. We're not afforded the luxury of that. We're not
body his choice.
Well, yeah, that's true, Cliff.
That is true.
You got
He didn't lie. He didn't lie.
Yeah, that is very true. Because she couldn't tell her no at any given time.
But she
I don't think
desperate.
she asked for it. I think she offers it.
I think she desperate. She is desperate. She just wants somebody, and she don't care if they ain't gonna have sex with her. She don't care if they ain't gonna talk with her or say they love her. She keeps saying it's the best relationship she been in, but she crying every other. You crying
That's
everybody.
I think this is the only relationship she's ever been in. To be being honest, like she might have been their girlfriend. They might have been her boyfriend, but she wasn't their girlfriend.
Oh, I think she had a bunch of one-night stands. I think she had a bunch of one-night stands, a bunch of dates. I don't think she.
Yes, ma'am. I agree.
Yeah.
I think she had a couple 2 and 3 night dates that she portrayed, or maybe she thought in her mind that were more than what they were.
Well, what I think is, I think that this is Clara's first relationship where she is, well, because they're married, that she has to be accountable and present in. But I also think, I believe I said last week too, that since she's getting Ryan off every night in her words, that is also a turn on for her. I think she's getting something from it too. I think she's getting pleasuring him. Yeah, that's what I think.
Which is perfectly fine, because I mean that's biblical to please your mate and for your mate to please you. That there's nothing wrong with that. That too, yes, I agree with that, because like how she doesn't want to go to church, how she doesn't want to do a lot of things, like they're putting conversations that need to be had. That they're putting those conversations on the back burner, and to be honest, I don't see them lasting past 5 years.
5 years? I don't give them 5 days.
That's what I said to myself. 5 days.
I think they'll last until he gets ready to have some kids. I think they'll last for that long until they get ready to have some kids.
He ain't gonna get ready to have no kids if he don't put the thing in the thing. He don't know what.
I can see them go, well, out of her mouth, she said 6 months out of her mouth. I say 1 year if they together. Definitely not 5. 5 is way.
Well, he ain't never going to. If he don't never say "I love you," it don't matter, because she's stuck on those words. Which her being stuck on those words says a lot about her prior relationships. I mean, a man could tell you "I love you" at any just to say it. I mean, what if he just threw it out there? He could do it if he wanted to, but the fact that he's not doing it says a lot.
But you know what though? I think she's placing emphasis on that word. But to me, "I love you" is just words. Like I need to see what you're gonna do. Yeah. Because compatibility tells it all. You can tell me you love me straight to my face, but then you doing things that are disrespectful. You don't love me. You don't even love yourself. Because if you love me, then you should love me as an extension of you. That's what when you become a man and wife, you leave and you cleave. You're one person.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I don't think Brian wants kids like her, and like he's trying to see what her goals and values are. Like he might could get over the church thing, because like she said, we went to church, my dad stayed home, so she looking at like I can stay at home, you can take him to church. Mm-hmm. Right. So I think you could get over that fact, but the fact of you want your kids to try this, try that, the kids need rules and structure.
Right.
And she is the queen of no rules, no structure. Because if she had any rules and structure, she wouldn't be, quote unquote, as she calls it, getting him off every night.
All right, she's gonna be the type that let her kid wear a skirt.
He just don't want to sleep with her. He don't want to sleep with her because it's something about her in her nature that's
turning him off.
Yeah, yeah. But as you know, most dudes, they'll let you at least do that right quick, because there's nothing that can come of that.
Yeah, right. Because he like, you ain't going to trick me. You ain't going to do what's the name is Shanice and get me pregnant.
And yeah, exactly. She's not equipped. She's not. Because
my thing is, what the experts, why they let him on the show too?
To me, she likes the novelty of Black people. She likes the Black girl magic, Black boy joy, black. She likes that part of being Black.
She want to do them. She want to do our TikTok dances. That's what she want to do. She want to surf She wanted.
Yeah, like it's things like that. Like she likes the fun part of being black. So when it comes down to the issues, she ain't equipped to raise a black woman. She's not equipped in any fit form or fashion.
Now, imagine what her hair gonna look like. Lord have mercy.
Let me.
Gonna put his daughter slick her hair to the side.
I'm so through.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on.
They all slick it to the side.
You like that's your
party,
like, oh, baby, that's
but y'all, I really believe he perms his hair though.
You know what? We're gonna segue into the black woman since you joined us, Kelsey, with that Brianna and the cutting of the hair. I want to hear your opinion.
Listen, Linda.
Listen, Linda.
I'm just give me one. I'm gonna go out of character for just 1 second, but I'm gonna come back. I promise. I don't give a damn if it was braids, her hair. You don't cut no black woman's hair. Mind your business, man.
Amen.
Like, had that have been me, they would have had to cut them cameras off. And how you know when her hair stopped? Because I wish you would. I swear for God, I would have got my stuff and I would have dipped on him. Because ain't no way. Ain't no way. Like, woo.
That's why I was like, has he dated a black woman before?
Yeah, exactly. Like, first of all, like, rule number 1, don't touch my hair.
Right.
Rule number 1. If I didn't ask you verbatim to cut these braids out of my head and show you where I want you to do it at, like by giving you a guide, like, okay, I'm gonna do the first one. Yeah,
but not in the bed. You about to go to sleep. That's not a surprise.
No, listen, I'm sorry, but like I would have just straight up like it would have took Jesus and all the disciples.
Maybe they gonna be that couple that always be pranking each other. Like he do that, she tied a rubber band on the sprayer on the sink. I don't know.
You know what? The only way I could get back is if you let me wax your eyebrows off.
No, she should have trimmed that beard.
Yeah, she should have trimmed that beard while he was asleep.
No, not trim it, wax it. The emotional pain you caused me, I want you to feel the same.
Hold on, everybody. We're welcoming the Jasmine Show. They're also up and coming YouTubers, so go ahead, Jasmine.
Vincent's still working.
Engagement too.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, congratulations!
Passed the Cal out. That was live.
Thanks. Yeah. Vince did that.
Show.
Yeah. So I think that first of all, Vincent is Dominican. He sounds like he be talking about like the Bronx and stuff. If you're from the Bronx, you know you don't cut no black woman hair, period. So he don't get no excuses.
Come on now.
You don't cut no woman's hair, period. I don't care what color she is.
Dominican Republic is way too close to Haiti. They know all about black folks. So for them to be like, oh, well, he don't know. No, he know enough. He know enough.
It don't matter if it wasn't her real hair, Cliff. You know that's rule number 1. She paid for it. That's hers.
Right. She wasn't ready to take it out.
Right.
You don't voluntarily cut her hair. And her natural hair is long. So
yeah, I really feel like he cut her real hair.
Yes.
Because he snipped off a good chunk of braid.
Yes.
He ain't cut her real hair because that would have beep would have came. So he ain't cut the real hair. Woo! Got out that bed. Like cut the camera.
Right. And that's the bottom line is you don't do it, natural hair or not. And that's not a surprise. That's the bottom line. It's not a surprise. A surprise is she's like, oh, what is this, some cheesecake or something like that? Surprise.
He said it's better
that's
than
a surprise.
Cheesecake.
Yeah. Not
he
like
did that to be petty. He did that to be petty, and he did that to get back at her for embarrassing him for all. Like he do little microaggressions towards her, and that's one thing that I don't like about him.
He cut that thing like that lady off Hercules when she was trying to cut his powers.
She did.
Right. But then we all, like we talked about earlier, we saw his face though. What do you think about his face after he did it? Was it a face of, oh my gosh, I can't believe that, or oh my gosh, she's upset, or oh my gosh, I upset her? What do you think the face was?
He was fearful for his life.
Yeah, because
black woman hair. What?
I'm surprised she didn't have a stroke because my blood pressure would have went sky high. Like that, like just the whole.
I think she played it off well for the cameras. But I think off camera, she let him have it.
You said you cut my hair, jail time. I'm with
because actually that is assault. Like if you cut somebody's hair, that is assault.
You said when she come. He misunderstood when she said she wanted to take it out.
No, Cliff.
Cliff, they were getting ready for bed. There were no misunderstandings.
I'm gonna need you to step and act like you dated a black woman before. Stop it. Stop it.
No, that's the thing. Like it like unless she literally said, Vincent, can you help me take out my braids right now?
Right now.
Right. That is the only. Well, we can be ridiculous, Cliff.
You're ridiculous.
That's just disrespect on a whole nother level. Which lets me know when they have a child, if that child's hair doesn't come out how he deems appropriate, I feel like he's slick man trying to put a relaxer in it.
See, but you know what? Doja Cat is right. Vincent is just tick for tack. So, like when she brought up the unorganized thing, I don't know if he's unorganized or not. But that's constructive criticism to me, especially if he's a business owner. You know, he has things going on. You should be at least somewhat organized. And it's not like she's just leaving him out. She's trying to assist him to become more organized. For him to be like, oh, yeah, when I heard that you was bossy, that was a turn off. I'm like, that's fine to say that. But it was the presentation when he did it was like, oh, I feel attacked. I'm going to attack you is what I got. And that's not what you do in a relationship. That's what you do to random people.
Not a marriage.
Yeah,
not a marriage.
She wasn't trying to attack him. That was not her intention.
Yeah, she wasn't. He said she had a problem with her tone before. And her tone right then was very constructive. It wasn't nasty. It wasn't harsh.
Right. And he gonna mess them up for the future because then she ain't gonna never want to be honest because she gonna be like, if I be honest, he gonna shut down. Like what's she supposed to do? Write him a letter?
Write him a
letter and say from an anonymous person close to you.
No, like she like the way he gets easily embarrassed, the way he is so prideful. Like you can't be so macho and then go cry in a corner because somebody talked to you a little rough. Like he really needs to work on his self-esteem because to me he's no different than Clara. He wants gratification and validation on his terms and his That's it. That's all he wants is gratification and validation on his terms and his terms only. And there's no way that you go about that. If it's not the way he wants it, it's not okay. It's a pout. It's your tone, the way you talk to me. How would you like her to talk to you? Because if someone who is an engineer that's making, quite frankly, probably more money than you, I would take the advice from them because they are in a position that you want to be in. Like take that criticism and say, well, in what ways do you find me unorganized? So maybe maybe she has a valid point. So maybe the way if you do this or that, you won't be so tired where you got to sleep all day because you're working smarter and not harder.
Right.
But do y'all think like maybe his people around him was like bossing him around all the time? Like he been bossed around because it looked like he was raised around all women. So maybe that's why he don't like it no more. Like somebody who been raised around people that yell when they get in a relationship, they be like, don't yell at me. You know, that's a trigger.
Right.
Like maybe it's a trigger for him or something.
That or he was babied.
I think he was raised around a lot of women. So he doesn't like the bossy women thing. But you know, when it's your family, you kind of got to tolerate it. Versus when you're in a relationship, that's something he doesn't like.
But his family told her up front that he gets mad at don't let him get mad. If he gets mad, I mean, they described him like the Incredible Hulk.
Right. And the way they described him was accurate. I think those cameras are what keep him in check because I really think he'll beat her. Like I honestly do. Like I honestly,
I don't get that. I think she'll beat him if anything.
Yeah, but I don't. Hold on, Cliff, before I bring you on. I don't think that Vincent was babied. What I think,
so.
no,
I think he was baby, and I think he wants
Cliff
to
about to
control
stir
the
the whole
narrative.
pot.
no, what I don't think he was babied. What I think is because he didn't grow up with his mom and dad, he grew up with his aunt and uncle in another family. I think maybe he was like the
Outcast.
what was that little what was it like the Cinderella kind of thing? Like he was like the stepsister.
The ugly
So he
stepsister.
had to always do things, and I think he was browbeaten all the time. I do, and I think that's was part of his personality where he can't take someone giving him criticism because he was constantly like
reminded that we're doing you a favor by having you here.
Exactly. You're not good enough. We had to take you in. We had to do that. So I think he's trying to overcompensate now for the things that happened when he was young. So because he keeps saying he wants to be a father he never had and this and that. So I think that's what happened. I don't think he was babied at all. He does not give me that, period. So okay. I'm gonna bring on Cliff.
Here we go.
You know how Cliff is. So let's hear what he got to say.
Cliff is gonna bring some intelligence.
Here we go, Cliff. Here we go. Hey, Cliff. Long time no hear. How you doing?
How you doing?
Good.
Can
How about?
everybody mute? Because I don't want to echo. Can y'all mute for a second, please?
Oh, yeah. Everybody mute your lines, please.
Appreciate it. Listen, with y'all saying that he's sensitive, and in certain aspects he is, but in the same breath, she's been on his head the whole season about something. She's been annoying about something. It's irritating. And as far as I don't care about what's her job status or anything like that, don't talk to me crazy, especially my woman. If they're married, she should have a certain respect. If he say he has a problem with how she talks to him, she should fix that. Because if it was the other way around and he was talking to her crazy, everybody would be up in a roar. How can a man talk to him like that after she said A, B, and C? As far as the braid, hold on one second. As far as the braid, he's not black. You understand what I'm saying? He don't know how black women look at it. And my thing is one braid. It was one braid. He didn't do it to be malicious. It wasn't her hair. She could take that one braid out. I'm sure she got some extra weave in the closet. Boom, boom, boom. Your braid is back. It's one. That's not worth, sweetie, Kelsey, that is not worth having a fight over. Like he did not do that to be malicious. I really don't believe that man did that to be malicious. Go ahead, Mom.
Okay, before anyone jumps in, let me say this. You know, Cliff, you know, we have been talking to you for a little while now, Selfie 13. I appreciate you, I really do. But you know what? Honestly, as these Married at First Sights have gone and just the way that your perception comes across, and I am not saying this to be mean, but you give me Vincent vibes. Before Vincent show, you give me Vincent vibes on the fact of where you don't want with machismo, like you have so much machismo that I think it would be hard for you to accept a woman who may have something going on right now that has a personality like Brie. I don't think someone like Brie and you would mix. I think a personality for you on this show would mix would be like maybe like a Paige because of your machismo, because you have, you're able to express yourself better than Vincent, but I think, but that's just how you come across to me, like very machismo. Like you always stood up for the men on Married at First Sight, regardless of the seasons it is or whatever. And I just think that you have a certain outlook. And I think if a woman has a little bit too much, maybe mouth for you, I don't think you like that. So that gives me that kind of personality. I'm not saying you're like Vincent.
I'll answer you. I have no problem with answering. We could get straight to it. As far first, let me answer the whole. Yes, I defend men, but I also defended Christina and what's her name, homegirl from this season, and a few others. I defend who I feel is right.
Okay,
it's but just that the majority being that majority of women watch this show, and there's only a couple of men who watch. And when I defend the men, and most of the women are against the men, I look at it as a bad guy. to answer your question, no, I don't want somebody who got all that mouth. We are not going to mix. You could tell me how you feel, but all that talking rah at me, we will clash. Because I worked on myself to not be a person who curse and carry on. So I don't want somebody who comes at me to bring that out of me. So yes, I want somebody to talk to me with respect. I don't yell at my lady. I don't do any of that. So I don't want that back. And if I tell you I have a problem with you or something you doing, I will hope you fix it the same way I would. So no, Bree, now just to answer Bree, I don't look at Bree as that bad. I don't look at Bree like I look at Amika. I have hope for Bree, but I do understand where Vincent is coming from.
Okay. So what do you think about the couples on this show in general? Do you think they're matches?
No.
None of them?
Thinking. No, not really.
We finally agree.
Let's see.
Look at that.
Okay. Well,
listen, I can't help it if you over there on the dark side and you don't want to come to the light.
No, I agree with Cliff in that Brianna nags a lot.
Never.
But in that instance, I don't think what she said was nagging. I think it was a buildup of the entire situation. And he's just frustrated and he doesn't know how to just say, like, listen, the way you talk to me doesn't come across correctly. And I think they're both afraid of hurting the other one's feelings so much so that they're just like being negative towards each other, when all of this really could be solved by just a simple conversation of saying, these are the rules of engagement. These are how we're going to talk. This is how we're going to talk to each other. When you feel away, okay, pause, time out, 5-minute break.
Oh, Kelsey, hold up. Zeely just brought up a point I forgot about. That whole thing about she's not going to change herself. What? You in a marriage? Like, what do you mean accept me? I hate with a passion when somebody say, this is who I am, accept it. No, I don't have to like the horrible ways about you. That's just like if I get in a relationship and I'm used to going to the strip club, but my lady got a problem with me going to the strip club. Am I supposed to just say, well, you knew I was going to the strip club before this and just keep doing it? No.
No, you got to
adjust, and she don't say. And her mother advice was horrible.
See, we agree on that.
I didn't care for the advice.
If I agree with you to that extent, as far as with her saying she's not going to change. Everybody in every marriage, you have to compromise. There's no such thing as the way you. At least if you plan on staying married, there's going to have to be some kind of compromise. So for her to say, I'm not changing who I am for nobody, I thought that was stupid for her to even say those things. But at the same time, I think her and Vincent, the whole thing is communication. I think the more Vincent opens up and communicate and stop holding everything in, because she's walking on eggshells. Nobody wants to be in no relationship walking on eggshells all the time.
Right. Go ahead, Devontae.
Oh. Dang, I lost my train of thought.
That's okay.
Yeah, y'all go ahead. I forgot what I was gonna say.
Jazz, you got something to say about that?
I just think that the issue is, and maybe it's just the way I see it, but I feel like Vincent, I see like him being triggered. I think it's not so much like that, like, okay, so she's a strong personality, obviously. Obviously she nags. What woman doesn't? But I think that the issue is the difference. There's a discrepancy between what's said and how it's said and what's received. And I feel like that's an internal issue for him. Like, I feel like if she was doing backflips for him, he would still see it the same way. So it's about it's like him kind of anticipating how or what she means before she even says it.
I agree with that. I think that they, like, the way they both perceive things from the past, in their past relationships, has bled into this one. And I think maybe just kind of sitting down and saying, okay, what did you mean by this? What did you mean by that? And then that way, when it comes up again, because it's going to come up,
Yeah.
It doesn't become such a big deal. It doesn't become such a point of contention. And then him being able to express himself without her having that like again, you whining again, like
Right.
that look on her face. And I think her body language and the way she looks at him a lot of times is part of the problem as well. When he feels like he can't express himself, and then she's like when with the whole riding the horse thing. That wasn't a surprise. You knew he wasn't going to want to do that, but you wanted to do it. So you framed it in a surprise to get what you wanted. That was very manipulative.
That was selfish.
Yeah, it was very selfish. And my thing is, you know your husband. Anything that he feels he may not do well at, he does not want to do. So save that for another time when you're not on camera, when you have a better foundation and you can talk about those things. Like, I'm sure they had a talk about what they wanted to do on that vacation at some point. I just think that she just knew what she wanted to do. And my thing is, if he didn't want to ride the horse, then say, okay, well, I'm going to still ride, take pictures of me.
Okay.
Well,
I
to
agree with
be fair to her, she didn't push him. It was more of the horse lady pushing him to ride.
But that's when she should have stepped up as his wife and said, no, he's uncomfortable. He doesn't have to do that because he doesn't want to step wrong to a woman. I feel like that was her place to say, no, if he doesn't want to do it, he doesn't have to.
There's a reason why they did it, because, and Vince, we said it on our show, Vince said production paid for that bomb ass drone shot because they paid for a drone on the horses. Y'all saw the angle. So he was going to get on that horse whether he wanted to or not. So the horse lady's job was to get him on that horse for that drone shot that they paid money for.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you're gonna walk with the horse, you might as well just get on, bro. I mean, come on.
You're safer riding a horse than you are walking by it.
Okay. So, Cliff.
Yes.
Let's hear your thoughts on Virginia and Eric.
Oh God. With the drunk couple.
Yeah.
I think Eric. At first, I really didn't like him. I ain't really like him, but I like him a little more now. And I believe he's been right. I know everybody was like, "Oh, he's bossy, bossy." I don't think he's bossy. It's like talking to a wall when you talk to Erica. I feel like they're gonna say yes. I don't know if it's gonna last because she still has a party girl mentality where he wants to be married and structured, and she doesn't respect. Forget just party girl. She don't respect boundaries in a relationship. Doesn't matter if you're married. Like, I can't see how she don't understand is going to spend the night on some dude couch is okay with her, with her husband. Even the part when the cat sleeping in the bed. If he tells you he's allergic, why not respect that? But she doesn't care at this point. And to me, where he messed up is he gave her too much power at the end. He was placating to her with their last conversation. And did he cry or something? I think he did, because I remember that irritating me.
He looked like he wanted to cry, but I don't think
because I remember getting irritated. And I'm like, for what? But it was like he was placating to her and she was playing him. So it was like he was trying to say sweet things, nice things, and then she would come with something negative. So that made me feel like she's not really into him as much. I think she's gonna say yes, but I don't know how long they'll last. And to me, if they fell, it'd be her fault.
Man, when he started crying and she did this, I don't know. That didn't look like she.
I didn't even
felt the same way.
I felt like it was, at first I was like, oh, he's really exposing his emotions to her. And I was like, yay, Eric. But then I was like, as soon as he started trying to, well, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but yeah, do some of the stuff I want you to do. It seemed like, then I was like, was that a manipulative cry? Because I feel like the whole episode, he was trying to fill her out. He wanted her to tell him, oh, yes, I'm going to say yes on decision day. He kept putting out there, oh, it's a 100% absolute yes for me. And she was not giving him nothing. And that's what he was trying to put feelers out.
I think he doesn't want to get divorced again.
Oh, y'all know who I'm sorry. Y'all know who that remind me of? That end scene Remember, what's her name? Derek. What was their name? Derek. Was it Katie?
Katie.
You remember when they was sitting together and they was talking about, you know, whether she say yes or no? She's like, maybe not. I don't know what I'm gonna do. That's what that scene reminded me of.
Yeah, I can see that. No, Eric, I don't think he was manipulative in the fact that he was actually really crying, but I think he was hoping that by him doing that, she would have some type of emotions toward him. But Virginia doesn't have any emotions towards anyone that doesn't support what Virginia wants to do. Like, her lease is up in 4 months,
Right.
but she doesn't want to move into his house. It makes no sense for them to move. Whoever's been taking care of them cats can continue to take care of them cats, or they can give them away to somebody. Like, and I understand people love their animals. I get that. It's a hassle to take the dogs out. Well, guess what? When he's here, that's the concession. That's his responsibility. He does it when he's here. You don't have to do it when he's here. But when you're a married woman, you need to go home. And the fact that you are on this man's couch is not okay. Like, I have a lot of homeboys, but I'm gonna tell you what though, they ain't gonna have me on their couch every weekend. They would have took me home, because when they get women, that's not gonna be okay. And in my opinion, the little guy friend that she had come over, he hugged her a little too tight for my liking. And I just I'm just being honest. Like, I think he got more.
You sound like Ellie.
Do what, Cliff?
I said you sound like Ellie. Ellie thinks that one of them dudes slept with her already.
I do too. Like, it gets like
definitely.
I feel like she didn't. Like, I feel like she didn't bought one of them. I don't know which one, or maybe both of them. I don't know.
I think the whole squad.
Like, I think it's just been some swapping and going around. You know, college days. You know, you drunk at the frat house. You know, it didn't mean nothing, quote unquote. But if that homeboy was a good friend, he would tell Virginia, like, listen, as a man, I wouldn't want my woman sleeping on some dude's couch.
Mm-hmm.
Which lets me know that they didn't have something going on, and she just ain't never really. He waiting in the background for this to blow up. And Virginia,
I look at Virginia as Paige, though. Not Paige. I look at Virginia like Chris. You can't tell her nothing.
You can't.
Just like you can't tell Chris nothing, you can't tell her nothing.
You can't tell her. And like when he wanted to discuss the drinking, she was like, "We're not talking about it." Like the shaking and the stuttering and the, like, baby, you got a for real problem.
Yeah.
Like, she has a for real problem.
He'll never be able. I think Eric and Virginia will never be able to have that honest conversation between them, because Eric wants to have a real marriage. You can tell that he really wants to. Mm-hmm. But Virginia is just not there. She's not ready to be married to anybody, let alone him. Mm-mm. She still wants to go out. She wants to hang out. She wants to spend the night out. I mean, she spent the night over her dude's house, her male friend's house. But how about this? My husband wouldn't let, if I spend the night over my girlfriend's house every weekend, he's gonna be like, so what y'all got going on over there where you guys spend the night over your girlfriend's house every weekend? I mean, that's just something you don't do. And for her, I thought it was horrible that she didn't even understand the thing with the cats. Sleep with the cats in the bed.
She don't care about him enough to get rid of the cats. I think it was Talisa Ray that said if that relationship was that good, them cats would have been gone. And I agree with that. Like, and I get that she doesn't want to move into his house, because then guess what? Then he can put her out. But if she got such a good home, but where she can be on his couch drunk, if Eric put her out, she better stay on the couch anyway.
I say she got like 3-4 couches she can go to.
That's what I'm saying. She got about 3-4 couches she can go to. So, you know, you got somebody keeping your cats, they can keep you too.
Well, something Eric did say that Virginia doesn't see him as his number one, not even number one best friend. And if he can see that, that's a problem.
Yeah. I mean, but they just got together. He can't be your best friend right now. I mean,
it is still fresh. I agree.
They fresh. Like, I mean, now in a year, if he ain't number one, I mean, 6-7 months in, okay, but now I mean he's still just we don't know each other like that. You still let the cat sleep with us.
Yeah, I guess, but to me, them cats need to go. Whether he learned about the allergy or not, they need to go. But Virginia attaches to things to the point. I honestly believe Virginia has anxiety issues.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The amount of training I've had thus far. However, I do think she uses it as a crutch because she has a desire to get better. Because I think Virginia knows if she seeks treatment for her anxiety, her alcoholism will be exposed.
Yeah.
But it's already exposed.
Mm-hmm.
And the amount of drinking that she does
at such a young age.
Yes, she already looks like she's in her mid to late 30s. She looks as old as Eric. And you want to have children, but you got to stop drinking for that.
True.
But she doesn't want to have kids right now. He wants to have kids right now.
And that's a thing too. Like I think the concession could be 2 years because at the end of the day, they don't know each other. And I don't think he should get rid of his condo. Now, even though now is a great time to sell because everybody's, paying, twice the value of a house. However, I look at
PPP loans.
If they sell that condo and buy a house, she can't afford whatever house they buy. So realistically, if they get divorced, he got to pay her out that house. But if she living in that condo, he got to pay her a dime because that was before they got married.
That's true.
So if I was Eric, I'd be looking at the dollars and cents of, you with this woman, you probably making 2 or 3 times much she making. And, anytime how long she been at that job, because to even get a house, you have to have 2 years of provable income. So I just, it isn't the right move financially for them to move in together. But if Eric, oh yeah, I saw that picture. But I mean, it could have been an allergy that he developed over time because you can be allergic to something as a child, grow out of it, and vice versa.
That's what Mom said.
Man, they dug that picture out the grave.
Species of cat. It may be that specific species of cat. There's more than one species of cat.
Virginia's
cat. I just don't think that he wants cats in his house.
I don't think so either.
I think that's just what it is.
And my thing is somebody else said it's like when somebody says they don't like onions. Oh, you won't be able to taste them. But if you say, oh, I'm allergic to onions, you're more likely to not have that be put in your food. And
true.
I think like Virginia got to understand that you got to make some concessions. And he's letting her say, I'll let you decorate the house any way you want to, which to be honest, I wouldn't let her decorate nothing looking at that apartment. if you ever want to sell anything.
It's gonna be rainbow.
Her apartment looks like it literally looks like
a college dorm.
Sorority houses in college.
Yeah, it does. She hasn't matured past college days. And I know she said she had to grow up or whatever. But to be honest, you really didn't have to grow up. You just lived in dysfunction.
I think she's stunted emotionally. Like she's still 21, 22 emotionally.
Mm-hmm. Very much.
No, I think you could drop her down to like 16.
Yeah,
15, 16.
Yeah. I think she's about 15, 16.
Yeah.
And the fact that her parents don't even acknowledge the damage that they've done to their children.
Right.
Says a lot as well. And you can tell the sister don't really be here for her mess. And so she just kind of goes along, whatever. But I think they'll both say yes. I think he'll say yes because he doesn't want to get divorced again. But what he wants is what his brother got, like the little Stepford wife and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, she in a sunken place. She didn't even blink. She
didn't even blink. Like, sis,
not gonna end well for her if she keeps sleeping on them couches.
Yeah, but I think they'll both say yes because Virginia lives in dysfunction. That's what she's always known. So I think she'll do that, which is the same with Jake. That's why he stuck around so long and was so willing to just take Haley's crap because he's used to living in dysfunction. Same thing with Paige. When you're used to living in dysfunction, you love it. You thrive there.
If he don't say no, I'm going to find the beach.
Speaking of Jake and Haley, what did you guys think about them in this episode?
It was amazing.
They were annoying.
Full of crap.
They were annoying.
This might work. Like, what?
She just doesn't want to be the one that's rejected. That's what it is. She don't want no man to get on there and say no to her. she wants to be the one that says no.
Yeah, she wants the upper hand. She wants to be able to control the narrative. That's why she's trying to be nice to him now to make up for all her Regina George ways.
Who told her?
But she's not.
Surprised, though?
She's not a nice girl. She's not
She
nice.
is a mean girl through and through, and she's not even pretty enough to be a mean girl.
I think she's nice looking.
I mean, she's pretty, but she's pretty enough to be a
No,
mean
she's
girl.
not. She's nice looking to black people. To the white community, no.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, so we'll just
No,
leave
I'm
it
not
at
trying to
that.
say she's ugly, but I'm trying to say that black people do not know how to judge white people. We be thinking the wrong ones look cute. I done seen it myself. We do not know how to judge them. We gotta ask a white man like, what she look like? They gonna I'm trying to
The white standard of beauty is different, though.
Black dudes with the toe up white girl. Tell it ain't the truth. You'll never see a black one with a fine white girl. Never.
Anyway.
I don't know what you talking about.
It's a fact.
Well, don't you live in like Ohio?
Yeah, we in Cincinnati though. That ain't.
The West Coast is different.
What? Oh, West Coast.
Yeah.
Well,
Down south is a different standard of beauty down south. Like they're different down south. We're made a little different down south.
I know down south we ain't gotta, It's them though.
To me, she's sad. She gonna forever be alone because she don't realize how she really turns people off. And it goes back to that night they had sex. He didn't do what he was supposed to do, so she wasn't willing to put up with all his idiosyncrasies. Like the reasons they were matched on paper were very clear, but it's like it's like Pastor Cal said. Oh yeah, she is. Like Pastor Cal said, you can't account for human behavior. And that's where they didn't mesh well, was the human behavior. And he petty, she petty, he passive aggressive, she passive. They really are the same person, but he's just better at delivering the one.
Thank you, Doja Cat.
He be with it every time. Like no match for him.
I don't think it was the sex. I still think it was.
You keep going back to that.
Cassandra looking at mom like, Mom, it's definitely the sex. Like, it's the sex. I'm telling you.
As the 20-something-year-old on this screen right now, I'm telling you, Mom, it's the sex.
Yeah, if he would have put that thing down, she'd have been there.
Yeah,
because she would have been like,
I think the issue is that how do I say this? So you can say you meet somebody, you could be like, oh, they're attractive. But have you ever smelled like someone's pheromones just are not compatible with the senses that you like? I don't know how to explain it. I just don't like everybody has their own scent, and some people's scent I like, obviously. Mm-hmm. I only like one person's scent now, but some people scent I just like, you're attractive, but your pheromones are not for me. It's
his natural body odor ain't right. And then with all them eggs,
we're
not gonna do that to that man. Let's not do that.
I don't think.
I'm going to say this. Okay, maybe I'm not a millennial, but when I was a millennial,
take it back. Come on.
It's still, to me, Haley was never attracted to Jacob from the beginning. So
thank you, Kay. Me and you, we on the same thing. Yes.
We don't disagree with you, Mom. We're not saying that's the thing. He had one shot.
It doesn't matter.
Right.
No. Because if she felt that way about the bracelet, if she felt that way about, you eat steak and eggs every day. So I think she did it to give it the old college try. We're going to have sex to consummate our marriage because that's what you're supposed to do.
That's exactly what happened.
She was into Jacob at all. So the sex, what he eats, what he wears, what he likes, all that is an irritation under the same umbrella. So that's what I'm saying. So if she liked him more, if she didn't think he was weird for the 80s and eating steak all the time, I'm sorry, I'm being loud. I'm sorry, y'all. I think that maybe that, the sex would have been okay. She would have tried it again to say, okay, well, maybe not. And I think she was drunk when she had sex because she never liked him. So that's what I honestly, truly think. I'm just saying that.
I agree with you, but I also think had he really just gave it to her, like winning lottery ticket gave it to her, she would have been willing to overlook some of that. And some of that he would have had a chance to prove more. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know though. I might agree with Mom because it seems like she been hooking up for dudes. It ain't no way she just messed. Everybody ain't put it down. Like, what do she need?
Right. After 7 years, and nobody has put it down where she could have been in a possible another long-term relationship.
She ain't likable though.
No.
Now, Cliff, I agree with you on that. Kudos.
What'd you say,
Cliff? Now.
I said her personality is not likable. I don't see nobody wanting no white
her personality is very dry.
She said that they don't understand each other's sense of humor, but she literally has said nothing that I laughed at the entire season. I'm like, she's not funny. Does she have a sense of humor?
Did she keep saying he doesn't know what he did 10 years ago? Like, what is it? What
have you done? You've done nothing either. He's built his career in his home. He's built equity in his home. He's built his career. What have you done besides sleep with people at everybody's weddings?
Right. What you keep asking for? You see the beach. The house didn't come with a beach, a sauna, a gym. That's what he been doing.
What it is. And she's like, well, his house isn't. A man's taste, unless he's just someone that has really nice taste, it's never going to be up to par to a woman's taste. It's just what it is. A woman makes a home.
That is true. That is definitely true.
Home. And that's just what it is. And I think he would have been willing to let her change anything in that house. I think that the sex played a role in it. I think had he been good at it, it would have given him a little bit of something to go along with. And the fact that she won't come out and say the sex is trash is what bothers him the most. Because to me, he seems like he's kind of self-deprecating in a way that he wants you to tell him the negative. He wants her to
be honest. The truth.
Like,
he wants her to be honest.
But I don't think it would matter whether it was good or bad. I think he also has some self-esteem issues. He's very paranoid, for one. Yeah. He thinks everybody's gonna cheat on him. He thinks everybody's gonna lie to him. Whatever. I don't know if he on steroids. We don't talk about nobody. But he just she should have been with Eric, and I think he might have done a little bit better with Virginia than Eric could have. But I definitely think Haley was meant for Eric.
What?
They are just two waspy Southern people,
no.
and Haley fell right in line with everything. I think that they just would have worked.
Virginia wouldn't have worked with Jacob. Can you imagine Jacob?
Haley wouldn't have worked with nobody on that show. Maybe the black dude, but that's about it. Maybe.
I don't think any couples, if you mix and match them, would have been a good match, because this is the first season. I've said it before. I could be wrong, but this is the first season where I've noticed that all the men and all the women came in with baggage from the beginning. Mm-hmm. Every last one of them from the beginning came across mismatched. Like when we met the men separately, I was like, oh, Ryan's boring. I'm like, Jacob's just dropped less boring than Ryan. I mean, like, honestly, this is pandemic casting.
Jacobs, let me tell you something. Jacobs is not really boring. He got a sense of humor. Yeah, you got to catch his jokes. That's exactly what he got, a dry sense of humor. But he's kind of funny. And he speaks his mind.
No, but Cliff, I'm talking about for the couples on this season. I'm saying, like, even you mix and match them, like they wouldn't mesh. Like if you took a Haley,
I think Jacob would have been okay.
I think Haley. What about Haley and Ryan?
Oh no, Haley and Ryan.
What she would have deal with that night when she got drunk? He wasn't giving her nothing.
Oh yeah, she definitely would have had no sex. Then she would have had a whole different issue.
No. What about Jacob and Clara? I think Jacob and Clara would have been okay.
Because she said she wanted something ethnic and
she wanted somebody racially ambiguous.
Right. Yep, that's what she
basically,
said.
I want a half a black man.
Basically, that's true.
Like I would honestly, if I had to pick any man to be with on this season, it would be Jacob. Yeah, I think
Jacob is great.
A better match.
I like Jacob.
Yeah, and to me, like when Jacob and Paige were on Unfiltered, they had a vibe, in my opinion. They had a little vibe. So I was like, okay, but I feel like to me, Jacob was the most ready to get married, and that's saying something. Because Eric is he's an ultimatum guy. If you don't do what I want, I'm leaving. If you don't do what I want, I'm leaving.
Yeah, that's not gonna work either.
It's just dry as toast. And
I think
he drives them communion crackers. That's what he is. It's dry.
The biggest issue is I think that Eric and Virginia was clearly not a good match because she's on one end of the spectrum. He's on the opposite. Their political views, their social views don't align. That's a lot of static. That's a lot of stuff to work through.
But Paige ain't what?
I think they did that on purpose.
Go ahead, Miss Kayla. I'm sorry.
Kayla.
I think they did put them opposite like that on purpose, knowing that they wouldn't get along. Because I mean, Eric, like you said, is on one side of the spectrum. He is your average white guy. He comes, from this military background. He's straight-laced, and she comes from total opposite.
Don't forget that he was at the Capitol on January 6th.
That's why him and Paige would not work.
Exactly.
But I'm saying with her sister is a lesbian, married to a woman. Her father's been divorced how many times? I mean, she comes from a completely opposite family. I'm not going to say just because her family sounds more dysfunctional than the other, because they both could be dysfunctional families. But as far as their upbringing is so opposite, I just don't understand why they put them together, because it's going to do nothing but clash. And Eric is way too controlling. Like I think he would be even too controlling for somebody like Brianna, who is assertive and she's okay within herself. I just think, Eric is like, I know this is certain things. This is the way I want it done. You do it this way or I'm out. And then when Virginia says, you're giving me ultimatums. No, I'm not giving you ultimatums. I mean, you can do what you want to do, but I'm just saying. You're just saying what?
If you don't do what he wants, then he's done. That's the definition of an ultimate.
What he be saying is
but he ain't been saying that the last couple episodes.
He's been right. That's my point. He's been absolutely, positively right. Everything he complained about is logical stuff in a relationship. He hasn't come with some off the wall, yo, don't do this, don't do that. That's something that's crazy. Hey, don't sleep on the dude's couch. I want my wife doing that. I would like to have children. So that would be a deal breaker. Like, that's understandable.
No, don't nobody want Chris. No. I'll pass. Personally, I don't think Eric is wrong. I think he would have been better matched with a Paige personality type. However, I don't think he would have got with Paige just because I just don't see it for him. But, there are I'm sure there are people at the Capitol that have brown wives, but I'm sure that those brown wives agreed with whatever they had going on. That's not stuff for another day. But to be honest, I think Virginia and Eric will stay. I think Clara and Ryan will stay. I think Haley and Jacob are a no. I think they just both ride this contract out. So they like they say, I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Mm-hmm.
I think Clara and Ryan will stay. And I think that she'll conform to what he wants. Because he's already got her going to bed early. He's already got her looking at him when they get ready to talk.
Mm-hmm.
So I think she'll conform, and then I'll even go so far as say they'll have kids. But I think once they have children, that will be it. They will break up. I think the same thing with Eric and Virginia. I think eventually he's gonna get tired of her sleeping on people's couches, and he gonna get over the fact of being a twice divorcee. What he needs to do is find one of them little flight attendants and call it a day, or find somebody at his mama's country club because I know she go to one. Just I know she do. She or the golf. I know she do. He look like he golf.
Like, why you just don't hook up with Sharon?
Oh yeah, that's right. He did say that. Eric was attracted to Paige. He did tell her that. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. So yeah, maybe he would have. You never know.
Somebody commented and said that everything Eric says is right as far as in a marriage for the most part, except for when he be like, "I did this before. I know." No, you don't. Clearly, it didn't work. But
you gotta stop going.
The things that he wants his wife to do for the most part, I agree with like 95% of them. The issue is his tone, and he talks down.
Yeah, it's
to her. That's the issue. It's the delivery is horrible.
Yeah, I think this show was supposed to be the Unmatchables personally. That's what I'm starting to think.
So how much of these failures do you blame like the experts compared to the people? Like, do you think it's more on the experts that everybody just messed up, or it's the people?
I think it's the producers.
I think it's 50-50 because people lie. People lie.
That's fact. Look at Chris.
Not necessarily like they're lying to the test or the questions. They lie to themselves. They think they want X, Y, and Z, but then when they get what they asked for, it's not what they wanted. Case in point, Chris. But see, Pastor Cal tried to tell y'all about that one. So to me, I blame that on Dr. Pepper. Virginia and Eric.
No, not Dr. Pepper, Dr. Viviana.
I'm sorry, Dr. Viviana. I blame that on her. Virginia and Eric, as far as they're concerned, she got exactly what she asked for. But she just didn't want it. She wanted like Olivia. She wanted to insert a husband. She wanted somebody that could just come in, party with her, and like hang out and have fun. She just needs to be with her homeboy that came over, that hugged her.
Wasn't nobody even on this show like in that mindset though, so they mismatched her anyway.
That's true. And to be honest, like when she was clear about that she goes out with her friends and stuff, that should have been just like a cutoff right there. But to me, I feel like they didn't have a bigger pool as they did because of the pandemic. I think that this was just the best they could do, to match up what they could match up.
No, I think they just wanted ratings.
I was about to say maybe they sabotaged this season, so now everybody, because it was only a couple people reviewing this show. Now everybody and their mama doing it, so maybe it's working.
True.
Like, we don't have.
They've been sabotaging the last few seasons, to be honest.
Maybe this is the throwaway season.
Oh, say that again, Cliff.
I said to me, they've been sabotaging the last few seasons. Like I started with season 9. I don't remember. Season 9 wasn't that bad. Then you got to 10. That's the greatest season because it was crazy.
That is not.
And then the rest of them was crazy.
Is that basic Caucasian sex 10?
Not basic. That was 9.
That was 9. Okay.
10 is Brandon and Michael is 10.
Oh, okay.
But I've been watching since the beginning, and it was better when it was on FYI. Because to me, it felt more documentary style.
I went back and watched season 1. You're right.
FYI has a different target audience than Lifetime.
Yeah, that's true. Like Lifetime's more of a drama feel. To me, like if it was a bigger platform, they're owned by the same network. Yeah, I liked New Orleans the best. It was better on FYI. It was 3 couples. Like you took away a lot of the things that needed to go through, like the finding of their own place to live, finance. Yeah. Like they took away some of the aspects that would have forced them to have conversations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't like that they keep these mutual apartments. These apartments be terrible.
I like that though.
But the issue is they get up and leave.
Such a short time. They have such a because I went back and I watched season 1, and I went back and watched season 8. I haven't seen 2 through 7, but I like the fact that they don't have to have that burden right away of finding a place, and they only have a short amount of time to get to know each other. Like last season, even though it was due to a pandemic, right. I like that they had 3 months together.
Yeah.
I think that compared to a month. I think a month is too short.
So do you think if they extend like the show a little bit and let them be together longer, like the decisions will change?
I think so, because I would say even like dating at 2 months, like when me and Vince were dating at 2 months, I didn't know that I wanted to be married to him, obviously, you know what I'm saying? So if you just switch it and be like, okay, we're committed off that, like I don't think that 2 months 2 months in front of a camera is not long enough to really get to know somebody, because that person could, we seen, especially in the earlier seasons, sorry, it's the helicopter flying over my house, in the earlier seasons you seen how people completely switch. Like I can't remember, it was a guy, it was like New York or New Jersey. The guy was from Staten Island, the girl was Puerto Rican, and apparently he was abusing her. So you're not gonna find all that out.
Jessica and Ryan.
You need time. You need more than 2 months in front of cameras.
Honestly, that was I've been watching since the beginning too. That was my first favorite season of them all, because when they fell apart, and there was nowhere to go. They either had to work it out or they had to leave, period. But I will say that my favorite episode so far, I believe that was season 2 or 3. It was 2, 5, and 10 so far. My favorite episodes. Best season so far. 2, 5, and 5 was Greater Love.
I hate 10.
What city was 5?
5 was Nate and Sheila.
Chicago, right?
Oh my gosh, they had me deceived.
Gosh.
Nate
be done with me because I'm done with you.
Hard.
Right. Now, Cliff, if you want to go back and watch, even you, Devontae, if you haven't watched, find season 5.
And season 5 is a good one.
Nate,
it's on Hulu. It's on Hulu. Season 5 is on Hulu.
Season 5.
I got the Fire Stick. I can go back.
It really was a good season, because what was it, Danielle and
Cody?
Yeah, Cody. Like they could have worked, but like he had no game, and she didn't care like enough.
Did they still have the same experts, or is different experts?
No, there's different experts.
Now, Dr. Pepper has been on since the beginning.
Yeah,
there's the Alvin one, right?
No, he's later.
Yeah, I think Cal came on at like maybe 8, but they had
like 7 or 8. But Dr. Pepper been there since the beginning, and then Dr. Jessica, she left because she ended up getting with one of the contestants.
Yeah, she got with one of the contestants.
But she said, I read her little thing on that. She said that happened way after that, though. They just
because they had to get a divorce, obviously. But that girl that they pair him with was horrible.
Oh yeah,
Molly was horrible.
Yeah, she's trash.
But season 5, go watch season 5. Yeah, they His
season
dad.
5 is the best season.
Now, one day I do want to watch the other seasons.
Was when his daddy was drunk at that wedding. Are you a drunk? Are you a drunk?
Oh my God, Nate's dad was so drunk.
And then he had a little piece of hair up here.
Hold on, we got y'all. Here goes Daddy. No greater love.
That was it. And then but poor Sheila, she ain't found no man yet. And
she was dating somebody.
Well, was she?
She was, yeah.
I mean, she's just a little old fashioned.
She looked old fashioned.
Yeah, Haley does remind me of Molly.
She does give Molly vibe for sure, but Molly
what happened to the girl from the black girl from season 1?
Oh,
I know she had her own spinoff at one point.
Yeah, she had a spinoff, but it didn't turn into nothing, and then she moved to California, I think.
Oh, she thought she.
I don't know. Monet was kind of bad though. Not bad in a sense. She said she wanted something, but she didn't really want that. She wanted something different.
And we all know Vaughn wanted a white woman, so that was that.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
no, he's now married to a white woman.
Okay.
I mean, that don't mean that he wanted a white woman necessarily then.
No, she called him out on it during the reunion. She was like, "You want a white woman? Just own up to it." And I was just like, but then when
she did say that. She did say.
She was like, because he was like, no, because she had broke her foot. And she was like, obviously we can't have sex. And he told that girl nothing wrong with her mouth.
He sure did.
I mean, he had a point. He had a point though. He had a point. I was with him on that.
Y'all
Put ain't got nothing
trash.
to do. Listen, my brother had a point. Or she could have been on her side. She was alright. Or she could have been on her side. She didn't have to get on top. Whatever.
So Married at First Sight must have been watered.
Call it what you want.
Now.
Yeah, Married at First Sight was a trip the first 5. It's much more to me scripted now, but in the beginning that was
like it was documentary style to the fullest. Like, no, my favorite was Ryan and Davina. Those
oh my God, they were crazy.
Yeah.
And she has some real self-hate because all she wanted to date was white men because her dad was Indian and he left her. I was like, girl.
Season 3 was my favorite season. The first Atlanta one.
Enjoy your coat.
Oh yeah, Vanessa and Trey's. He cheated on her the whole time.
It was a mess. It was.
Like, they really could have worked if he could have stopped cheating.
I was over Sam because I feel like Neil was such a good guy, and I knew she was gonna switch.
What's the best?
She was gonna switch, and he was like, "Nope." I'm like, "Damn."
Man, y'all gonna make me go back and watch.
I wanted that black couple from season 8 to work. I think what's her name? Jasmine.
Oh yeah.
Is that her name from season 8? Yeah, I wanted them to work.
Man, Will messed up. Jasmine was fine. He messed up. That was good.
You ain't lying,
She just
bro.
had a baby.
Yeah, she's engaged and had a baby. But what was crazy was he wanted to like still date her even after they broke up.
I think that the issue is, and I thought Keith and Iris were gonna do the same thing. I think that sometimes with the camera, it puts a lot of pressure. So I feel like they're like, I don't necessarily want to get a divorce. I want to continue to like date and try to see if we can keep it, together, which it kind of makes sense because you're kind of doing it backwards.
Yeah, and I agree. Like,
but with Will, one thing with Will, okay, I'm sorry, Kels.
No, go ahead, Cliff. It's fine.
With Will, I feel like I understand why he didn't stay with her because he didn't want to pay all the bills, and she pretty much wanted somebody that paid all the bills. So his whole thing was, even if she compromised, eventually she's going to have resentment towards me. And I think that really what made him fall back. With Keith and Iris, Keith ain't keeping 100 with Iris. He would talk to the camera about his issues and didn't say nothing to Iris. And then, so when Iris found out everything, she's shocked. And then you come off later when, he was saying, oh, she's immature about certain things. And then when you hear the backstory, you like, nah, I know she wasn't.
Right.
He just didn't want to put that out. And then, correct me if I'm wrong, Keith, but didn't she say they was doing other stuff?
She was giving them head. And
I don't
was
believe
doing
that.
that.
I do not believe it.
So, like,
why would she lie? Why would she lie?
I don't believe that.
I don't.
That girl ain't lying. I believe her. That girl ain't lying.
Yeah,
because she was acting all weird every time they talked about sex.
Because that's what they discussed that because of the camera, and they both have students or kids that they was teaching, and she said that they agreed not to say certain things sexually and all that other stuff on camera.
Yeah, they had agreed to keep certain things like PG because they both worked with children and they didn't want to be an improper influence. But then low key, Keith was a freak and he just wanted somebody that was gonna match his freak, and she couldn't do that.
But he could listen. If you care about something, you could teach. Like who?
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, I don't know what's wrong with that brother. Who don't want a virgin? He could mold her. He molds her the way he would have molded her to his liking. And then even when they talk about, oh, she swallowed the quarter, she almost died when she swallowed that quarter. It was more to that story.
Cliff, I totally agree with you because when he said he just didn't want to take the time out, like, to me, that made no sense. Oh, she's a virgin. She says, I was so disappointed because I think that she would have been a really good match. And she doesn't know if she doesn't know anything as far as sexually, he could teach her all the tricks, back flips, whatever, and then some. And she could be all that to him. So for him to be like, oh, well, she's immature, whatever. She's immature because she don't know anything. But I just thought he was selfish.
But I mean, can you be mad because he don't want to feel like? Sometimes you just don't feel like doing all that. Be like, oh my god, I got to teach you how to drive the car, start the car, scrape the window. I ain't got time for that.
But you don't know when they got to that point. She would have tried to educate herself though. Like you don't know that.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I kind of agree with Devontae because as an adult, I don't really want to be teaching people that either. Like,
but what I'm saying is, how long is he going to be really teaching her? It ain't like he's going to be teaching her the length of marriage.
But maybe it ain't even about
a month, she should be good to go.
But maybe it's not even about teaching her. It's about like, all right, I'm gonna try to introduce her to this. Maybe she's not gonna be comfortable. Oh, here she go. Now I'm gonna have to wait 2 months to get her comfortable to do this. You be like, oh my god, I could have just got me a free.
I think he just didn't want the responsibility of
of being her first. That's a huge responsibility, and I think that's what it really boiled down to.
Responsibility of it, and she was very like anal retentive. Oh yeah, I saw both of those interviews, and like to me, I feel like Keith did this show to get his little sad music career popping. Because he ain't like I've heard a couple. Music career? Yeah, like I heard the little songs, and it just wasn't. I don't know. I feel like who was all in that season? Well, really, there wasn't nobody else.
You need a wheelchair.
Deanna.
Yeah, I think she would have been all right with Greg, but I think. That whole season was trash. Like Jamie and Beth are still together and they're just dysfunctional. Like
I'm actually surprised Deanna and Greg still carrying on because I didn't think she really liked him like that either.
I think when she saw that house and she saw what he was
when she saw the stuff,
she was like, okay.
Oh, you talking about
you
Greg?
know what? I can't even agree with that because like I'm pretty sure Deanna, I know somebody went to school with her. And like the way that she presented, I feel like that's how she really is in real life. It wasn't like, I'm holding it together for the camera. I thought she was pretty authentic. And I thought that she was just one of those people that had not dated in a little while. So she did take time to open up, which
she just was rusty.
Yeah.
I mean, they have happily married with a baby now, but I'm just saying, sometimes you see people on the show that make it afterwards as like, I didn't necessarily see that connection on the show, but I'm happy that they
Beth and Jamie still kicking it. They was arguing every other
episode. Is crazy as hell.
They like the dysfunction. That's why they're together. Like they like
it might be a little freaky thing every time.
Hey, Chloe.
But
I feel like they might be the worst.
Date for years and then just wake up one day, I want to get married.
I think the reunion will be good. I think that I'm ready for like Haley and Jacob to get into it, and Jacob they hit it with the one-liners and the this and the that. And I think it'll be a good little reunion. I think is Kevin Frazier gonna host?
I hope so.
He be messy. He is so messy. I love it.
Because
he be holding these people accountable. Like
I can't wait for people like Haley, you cried about nothing. What would you cry for?
No, but one thing I will say is like he don't really push the white women like he do the black men. Because when he could try to get on Beth, she's like, we're not talking about it, and then she wanted to cry, so he kind of like backed off because you can't make a white woman cry.
No, don't make America cry. Oh Lord,
it's the reunion 2 parts.
Oh, I hope not, because this been a long season. I'm tired.
Right.
Nah, they gotta drag it out. They probably gonna end. Chris and Paige gonna come on, then it's gonna go off. Watch.
I feel like they're going to, because I could have swore they started the new season like in June or something. So I'm like, we're not gonna have a real break between seasons.
No,
it better be fire when they come back. Nobody wants to sit through another 17 weeks. I feel like it's been on since January, hasn't it?
It started the second week of January. It started on my birthday, which was January 13th.
Yeah, and I feel like we've been doing this for like 8-9 months. Like I feel like they didn't put us on salary, but they've been working us hourly.
Right.
Like I really do.
How do you think we feel doing the review? Watch the same thing for 2 hours.
Right.
We're like,
Look, that's why
Right.
I quit. I said, well, I can't go to graduate school and watch this mess too. Like, I be having to fast forward. I be like, I can't. Like, and then it'd be the line for me. That's what get me. Like I'd rather the whole world think I'm trash. At least I'm honest.
Like her marriage is 10 out of 10. If she tells somebody else that, I'ma die. Okay.
Bro, I'm like,
Everything is
Haley, I mean, what's her name? Clara, can you teach me how to get to a 10 out of a 10?
No marriage.
Because you doing something I ain't never seen that.
Like, you might have a day where your marriage is 10 out of 10.
A day.
Like you know, you might get lucky with a week. But
then soon she seen you drunk some of her juice. It's a wrap. Right back to squares to 7 out of 10.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and I feel like they're gonna forever be in this cycle of her not saying anything for fear of losing him. And he knows that he has her like that. Because one thing about Black men, they know how to work a situation.
right. All right, y'all. We're gonna wrap it up, but I'm gonna answer Chloe's question. What's special next week? There's not a actual Married at First Sight. It's gonna be like Amani and Woody, Karen and Miles, and Beth talking about the couples. How if they think they're gonna make it for this week. So we will not have.
So that ain't couples cam?
That's horrible. It's like an upgraded couples cam. So we will not have a review next week because there's nothing to review.
Yeah.
Right.
We will be back the following week because the following week is decision day.
And then a 2-part reunion, which is all going to be a lie because they done stretched this season out so much. I cannot sit there for 2+ hours on my phone typing nothing. I can't do it.
I didn't type nothing.
If they're gonna do the whole thing with Jamie and Beth, they should have just kept couples couch where they looked at the show. Because to me, that was more interesting than watching the show.
Yeah, so that's next week. So there won't be any response to that. Sorry.
I can't do it. Chloe said her either. I'm sure there's going to be somebody out on these YouTube streets doing it.
If you want to see
it. Did y'all get a chance to watch Unmatchables?
Yes.
Did you like it? I liked it.
Okay.
I like it.
We did
hilarious.
We did reviews on both of them.
I'm gonna go watch our review after this then.
Yeah, the Jasmine Show does a review on it. We don't.
For us, it comes on like 12,
11-ish. That's too late. After 2 hours of this and we have to get ready for a review, that's too much.
Oh, y'all right. I understand. Everybody.
Yeah. But we do have our Rated by Kelsey, thank you. But we do have Ready to Love coming out on Saturday. So don't forget to watch Rated Love. Huh? And then I don't want to. Well, you know what? We also are going to do a 80s, 90s millennial card game.
How's that millennial?
Well, because 80s, 90s, and
I guess.
You know the different decades, Haley.
I'm weak.
After decision.
Oh, I thought you were talking about.
No. After decision day, we're gonna do that. So we want y'all to join. We're gonna answer questions from the 80s, the 90s, and the 2000s. You think that'll be fun? And we may actually give away a prize.
Oh, okay.
Let's do that.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
So y'all Ready to Love review is when?
Saturdays.
Oh,
The show's Friday, Saturday, so it'll be out on
because
Saturday.
what's the name of was just on a podcast I watch. Ashima was just on there. And she was talking about Darren.
Are they still together?
No. She said basically he was a freak and wanted her to like and have other women in a relationship. She wasn't down with that.
Oh.
It's called On These Hoes Podcast. They comedians. No, I swear though. No, they comedians though. Like they known too. When you see them, you're gonna be like, oh, I know them.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll maybe give it a shot. She'll do it before I will, but
On These Hoes Podcast.
I swear they be with Kev on stage.
Okay. Okay.
And Cassandra, why'd you look at your mom like that when she said that to Cliff? When she was talking, you looked at your mom like, Mom, no, you not. You just looked at
How you doing?
I mean,
I didn't know she was about to say anything. She's usually so
oh, you missed it. I'm sorry. Vince just came in the room.
She's
Hey,
just so
Vince.
nice with everybody.
I'm nice in general anyways. But I just want to ask Cliff. Cliff has been watching us for a while. He's been sub since like number 13, literally. And so I feel now I can say, hey, Cliff, I think XYZ. I don't think he'll take it the wrong way because, as Cliff like to say, Mom, we're in the same age group. Yes, we are. So why not?
That was just so funny. I was just looking at your face. Your face was priceless.
She was like, my mama just went gangster.
Yes.
She just tried. She thought Cliff. I think she was thinking.
Needs to do more story time. She is something else. She is really
maybe Mom used to be something else.
Yes,
yeah, what's the dude name? We ain't got the second story.
PD, well, someone asked me, and I said after this Married at First Sight's over, I'm gonna do the bridesmaids update with the sisters and the baby.
Yeah.
So look out for that. But I do have lots of story times, but I don't think y'all are interested in that right now.
I'm interested.
I'm interested.
Don't egg her on. Don't egg her on.
Very interesting. I will say that.
So, but yeah,
Well,
I think I think y'all would be surprised at Anyways, thank you all for watching.
All right. Y'all
Everybody
have a good weekend.
Thank you. So 2 weeks for the next live on a Thursday. And then Ready to Love will be out this weekend. So everyone have a good night. Stay safe.
Good night.
All right, you too.
You too.
Take care.